All right, compared to the 30-minute marathon video that I just posted on chapter 9 above this one, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. This video is just a quick summary with a few bits of advice about the final 2 writing assignments you have due for this summer 1 session. The 2 are, first, rhetorical activity number 1 on page 245, which I'm looking at right here. We're looking at right here on the screen. Compose an exordium, a narrative, a partition, and a peroration for some argument you are working on. Carefully consider the rhetorical situation before you begin. And then it goes on. And this is actually the order in which you should begin. Start with this. Start with answering these questions. Is your audience receptive, hostile, indifferent? Obviously, this speaks to introduction versus insinuation. Does their attitude stem from their relation to the issue or to your ethos? Once you have answered these questions, you can decide whether you need an introduction or an insinuation and whether you need to make elaborate appeals in the peroration. And then practice composing some brief arguments for a peroration using the topics that were established in the chapter from Cicero for establishing ethos or arousing emotion. And once you've done some basic drafting, what you submit in the text box for evaluation is going to be a short, to the point, really almost kind of an outline of an argument based on the exordium, narrative, partition, and peroration. Okay, so this 300 to 500 word rhetorical activity number 1 on page 245 is all about you just beginning the process of working through a draft, just the bones really of an argument based on this ancient template for arrangement. And I would strongly suggest that you choose the argument that is the basis for the Progymnasmata. The Progymnasmata is write a thesis on wearing a mask in public due to the COVID-19 situation in which we find ourselves. So knowing that for the Progymnasmata, you're going to be working on an argument for whether or not we should be wearing masks in public, develop rhetorical activity number 1 on page 245 for it. So basically both of these final writing assignments should be about the same topic, so you can just kind of use the momentum from the rhetorical activity to complete the Progymnasmata. Now on 249, the rhetorical activities thesis, I don't really know if this is something that was just ignored in editing, but it says rhetorical activities thesis, even though this is the Progymnasmata section of the chapter. So let's just assume this says Progymnasmata thesis, and you want to do number 1, compose a brief thesis on, actually you don't want to do number 1, excuse me. You want to do my number 1, which is whether or not we should wear a mask in public during COVID-19. And I want you to use the basic outline that you just used in rhetorical activity number 1 in this chapter. So I want you to develop a thesis that has an exordium, a narrative, a partition, and a peroration. Basically, just expand on what you draft out for the rhetorical activity. Expand it. Okay, and that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. But the idea with this final Progymnasmata is that you actually develop an argument, albeit one that's got echoes of that ancient template for arrangement dating back to Cicero and the Romans. But if you do it well, you can blur the lines among those different parts of the template, and it can just sound like a strong argument. So to me, that would be the goal here with the Progymnasmata. But again, like, both writing activities for this chapter are about yes or no on masks during COVID-19, and just take the momentum from the rhetorical activity into a more fleshed out thesis, i.e. argument based on that ancient Roman template as you develop the Progymnasmata. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.